Hello, welcome to Marty's place. Today we're going to be making French bread, and I've done it a few times now, so I feel confident that it's going to turn out, and it's easy to make, a lot easier than most of the stuff I've been doing. So all you need, and what I've prepared ahead of time, is I've put 2 cups of warm water in this bowl with 1.5 tablespoons of dry yeast, traditional dry yeast. And then to it, I'm going to be adding 4.5 to 5 cups of flour. I usually, when I need it, I put about a cup of flour just on my countertop. And in the flour, I've put 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and that's pretty much all the ingredients that are needed. So I'm going to start the mixing process, get it out on the table, and then we'll pause because I have to knead it for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then after that, I roll it in a ball and put it in a bowl to rise for approximately an hour. All right, so let's get the mixing going. And I've been just mixing with my hands because I find it's the easiest. And as I said, I put flour, spread it around on the tabletop to help with the kneading process. And it mixes quite easily. And there's a consistency involved in when you make your dough, right? You get sort of to kind of know when it's appropriate or not. As I said, now I can get it out. And you can see it does stick to the hands, but when you get the flour going on it and that, it'll get off the hands. And the kneading process is this pushing and pulling and flattening and wrapping. I haven't looked up the dictionary definition of knead, but apparently this is what I'm doing. So I will do this for another 8 to 10 minutes and then just show you the process of putting it in the bowl. See you in a bit. Hi, welcome back. And as you can see, my hands are still got a little bit of flour on them. Most of the flour on the countertop has been incorporated into the dough. I've been kneading it for 8 to 10 minutes. And now I have a clean bowl that I've just put a little spray, cooking spray oil in. I'm going to roll it into a ball, put it there in this and cover it. And then in an hour, it should have doubled in size. And that's when we will go into the next phase of making the bread. So the ball. All right, there we are in the bowl. And then I just use a clean dish towel to put over. Just keep it out of the flour. And we'll see you in an hour or so. Welcome back. It's been about an hour since we put the small rolled up ball in the bowl, and you can see it is more than doubled in size. So now the next step that we have to do is prepare it in the bread size lengths. The end product will go on this neat little deal here made for French bread. Not having one of these are quite inexpensive. You can also just use a cookie sheet if you have to, and I believe that's the way I did it the first time, and it turned out really well. So I'm going to take the bread, put it on my cutting board, and the first time I made it, I cut it in half, and I found that it made way too much for 2 pieces of French bread. So now what I've been doing is I've been trying to cut it into 1/3 and make 3 pieces of French bread, or loaves, I guess, of French bread. So it's just a guesstimate as to what 1/3 is. And that seems not quite right. So I will go back to the drawing board here. And that's probably not too bad to do 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And then once you have it sort of sectioned into that size, what you would do is grab your handy rolling pin, and you want to roll out about a little over 1 foot one way and maybe 8 to 10 inches the other way. So, and I try to keep it fairly square, uniform, if I can, and it is a bit difficult. And sometimes I cheat a little bit just by pushing it. And you roll it fairly thin. I want to say about 1/4 of an inch or less. And you can see by the length of the bread pan that that's almost an ideal length. So when you get it to be this length, I don't want to get it any longer. The idea now is to take the edge of the dough and just start to roll it. And it rolls really easy. And there we have it. And then I'm just going to transfer it to the pan. So I will do the other 2, put them on, and be right back. Okay, so it only took a few more minutes for me to roll the other 2. They're not uniform in size, but that doesn't matter. It takes approximately the same time to cook. And what the next phase is just to cover them again for about 40 minutes or so. And then the bread will once again rise, and then it'll be time to pop them in the oven. So we'll be back in about 40 minutes. All right, welcome back. It's been approximately 40 minutes, and I've just removed the cloth from the 3 loaves of bread. And what I've done is I've made small cuts on the top of the loaf, And apparently this is done to dissipate the energy, and I think it keeps the bread basically in a straight loaf shape. So I will quickly do the last one, and you just need your sharp knife, and you just run it about a 1/4 inch or so into the top of the bread. It did rise quite a bit over the last 40 minutes. Okay, and then before we pop it in the oven, to give the bread that really nice color that you get when you buy it at the store, to do that, you beat an egg and then just baste the top of the bread. And when it comes out, you'll see the color that the bread has, and it just creates a really nice texture. So I will quickly baste the bread. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble with the egg. It has a mind of its own here. Get over there. Almost done. Good. So now I will pop it in the oven for, it's 35 to 40 minutes. I usually put it in at the low end, the 35, and then just check on it. And sometimes I leave it in for a couple more minutes after the 35. But we will pop it in the oven. And set my timer for 35. And in 35 minutes, we will have 3 nice loaves of French bread. So I will be back in 35. All right, welcome back. It has been 35 minutes, and we're ready for the big reveal of our French bread. So, just put it here, close my oven door, and you can see really nice color, great texture, typical French bread loaf. So now it's time to let it cool for a few minutes and then break out the bruschetta and the pepper pate. So until next time, take care. Thanks for watching Marty's Place.